MSNBC Sunday, as you see live pictures right now, this is of Gaza there in the darkness, the twilight there, the lights there in the distance lighting things up a bit. It has been a battle there raging for the past 9 days in the region. The Israeli ground troops there pushing deeper into Gaza right now with a look at earlier today in daylight. Also today, Israeli President Shimon Peres rejecting the possibility of a ceasefire in a television interview this morning as the Israeli ground forces move a bit deeper into Gaza. Now, he added that Israel does not intend to occupy Gaza, nor to crush Hamas, rather to crush terror. Meantime, the Israeli army says one Israeli soldier has been killed in the fighting inside of Gaza. Joining me live in the studio is MSNBC analyst Raghida Dergham, the senior diplomatic correspondent for the London-based Al Hayat. And so with a good afternoon to you here East Coast time, Israeli President Shimon Peres talking today about rejecting the possibility of a ceasefire, saying rather, look, we don't want to occupy Gaza. We do not want to crush Hamas. We want to just control and crush terror overall. Are these words and impressions that will change the minds of those inside the Arab world?
No, because it's quite strange that he declared this objective to crush terror, not crush Hamas, and an open-ended battle without a ceasefire. So I think the Israelis are really digging in a very confused way. I want to say this once again, that I find it stunning to say that we are not able to put an time limit to the operations, nor a clear objective to the operation. What does it mean to say we're going to crush terror? It doesn't mean anything. Lots of people fear that the idea would be to split Gaza from the West Bank and then push Gaza into the lap of Egypt and say Gaza is not anymore an Israeli problem, it's any other party's problem, but not Israel's.
What about the objective to at least squash the possibility of Hamas firing the rockets into the southern Israeli area? Is that a legitimate push for the Israeli military? Is it something that you think they can accomplish?
They cannot accomplish that by a military invasion of Gaza where the civilians are in everywhere they go. I think by going as far as they have right now, it is more of a confusing picture as really what is the Israeli strategy, what is the Israeli objective. I do not understand why they would say, the president would just say, we reject the ceasefire, we want to just defeat terror. It is impossible to do it that way.
If the U.S. ideology for the rejection of the UN Security Council mandate in the emergency session last night, which was let's put forward the idea of a two-party ceasefire, the U.S. says, no, we're not signing on to that because they do not believe that Hamas will stop firing the rockets. That would leave Israel, if they wanted to go along at the mercy. Is there reason to believe the U.S. stance or not?
How else would you go around it? How else would you go about controlling Hamas if Israel says my option here is to keep Hamas in power? There is only one way to do this, is to really go the political route. It is so important to step back and find out what is going on right now, what are the potential objectives of the different players. I would worry quite a bit about what everybody's objectives are vis-a-vis Egypt. Keep an eye on Egypt because Iran, Hamas would like instability there, and if Israel decides to push Gaza into the lap of Egypt, as you say, in its totality, Hamas included, then somebody is calling for a very serious situation of a lack of stability, chaos, and possibly when you have then the West Bank floating, that kills clearly the option of a two-state solution.
Look, you've got to believe that Egypt does not want Gaza pushed into its lap. So if you've got Egypt, if you've got Jordan, you've got Syria, Lebanon, all these different Arab communities nearby, neighboring, that don't stand to gain anything by the Palestinian state being crushed. Why are they not more involved? Why is there not some Arab country coalition get in there and get this problem fixed from their vantage points?
That's exactly what they've been trying to do for the last 3-4 days. They go to the Security Council. They say, we want a solution through the Security Council. They're not getting a reaction from the Security Council, but my information is that they are on their way. Several of the foreign ministers are on their way. Tomorrow they will start meeting at the Security Council. They will push further for two things. One, for that ceasefire, they want a lasting ceasefire. They don't want just simply, let's stop this and go back to status quo ante. They also would want a solution. That is where the political imagination needs to be put to use.
Then why is it that this was not started in terms of the United Nations discussion back on December 17th or 18th when Hamas Hamas first began with those rockets.
Again, there has been action by the United Nations. It hasn't been on the American media, but there has been a lot going on at the Security Council, also by the Secretary General of the United Nations. And what's going on right now behind the scenes are different discussions on different elements on what would make this a comprehensive solution. A comprehensive solution will have to be political. There is a serious worry about the state of the two-state solution, about the future of the two-state solution. If you break Gaza away from the West Bank, you broke the very notion of a two-state solution. And that is what people are thinking about, how to bring everyone back on board to sit down and look at the bigger picture and say, let us really recommit to three things: the two-state solution, the stability in Egypt, the independence and the state of Jordan as an independent state, and its security, because some are thinking that probably this will lead to a fall of the Palestinian Authority, and that is a chaos you do not want to witness. If you have the Palestinian Authority fall apart, it's huge. And that's probably what Hamas would want. This is important right now to say yes to the Palestinian Authority.
Okay. Raghida Dergham, thank you very much from iHayat. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
New details.